Hey, look at you! You're living in your own little dirt little hut. And of course, we've all started out that way, and as time has gone through, or gone by, I have slowly become a much better builder. So, I am going to be sharing with you my top 8 Minecraft building tips that I have learned throughout my time as I've tried becoming better at building. Yeah, I'm really good with words. So, number 1 is actually going to be gradients and texturing, because these are incredibly important because they add a lot of color, depth, and variation to your builds, especially when it comes to rocks, trees, walls, and creating different colors to add different variations, different textures, and pops of color, which also help improve the area. And also can just give you a new sense of, oh, this has been lived in, or this is new. And the second thing I learned was actually depth and what I'm going to be calling chiseling, which is basically using or having the use the use of stairs and slabs within your buildings, making them have like cracks or broken parts of the building. Another thing that I've actually been trying to work more towards and do much better with is actually outlining and shaping my build. But first, I'm going to actually talk about outlining. So outlining actually helps you show off what, or show, like, or just give you a much better idea and a much better example of what you're actually going to be looking at and how things are going to be placed. So using different colors of wool, concrete, or any certain block that kind of represent a certain layer of the build. So you can say green wool is for the roof, or yellow is for the walls, or do whatever you want, whatever color makes more sense to you. And especially this also goes with trees, roads, any natural thing, basically any organic builds, any normal structural builds, and it is actually very, very helpful to use so that you can actually have a pretty good idea on where things are actually going to end up going. Another thing to follow up the outlining is actually going to be shaping. So using different shapes and different angles in your builds are actually going to help it give it a little bit more life and a little bit more realism, especially if they're diagonal builds. It can either be a gradual build or gradually diagonal build. It can be a circle, it can be a rectangle, it can be square, it can be a combination of like everything. You can do literally whatever you want, but like, yeah, there just really are no limits. So just whatever you want, whatever you think is good for you, you do it, and you build it. Whatever you're comfortable with, but still, just remember to get out of your comfort zone and do something new so that you challenge yourself and also try and possibly even improve in certain different areas of the Minecraft building aspects. Another thing that I've also found incredibly useful is actually going to be referencing. So going on Google or Pinterest or any other YouTube website, or just really just any website, actually helps out, show you and teach you, or kind of just give you your own inspiration, your own ideas for your own builds. So certain shapes, or you look at this building and you look at this building and you make a combination of those buildings. Another thing that I've actually been working a lot more on recently is actually going to be more organic builds. That includes rocks, trees, and honestly, really just anything related to that. Bushes is another thing, but a lot of organic builds also helps to really spice up your worlds, and it's probably one of the best things to include to make your worlds and actually a lot of your projects look even better. Another incredibly important thing that a lot of people probably don't think about is not just winging it, but actually going into a creative world and actually designing it for yourself. So in my case, I have this massive build world. That is from my cherry tree video. That is from my hardcore episode. Those are from different servers. My last hardcore series, this video, and the new hardcore series, like, go through the step-by-step process. Learn how to build, and just like, I went through different buildings. So you had this one, this one, this one. All of those were an attempt to make the Fletcher building, and this one, this one, this one, and this one, and I think maybe even this one was actually made so that I can make one single build in one world. So that is a huge thing. Which also actually brings me to the last one, number 8, repetition. Repetition is is probably the most important thing that you can do. I will be honest. The more that you work with gradients, the more that you work with shaping, the more that you work with texturing, chiseling as I call it, which is using the stairs and slabs, and working with trees, especially trees, then you will slowly improve with it and learn what blocks go with what blocks. And you will be able to make your own combinations and your own colors and your own patterns, which will be able to help you in the future. So repetition is a huge thing to help you improve, which also improves your skill with your builds so that you know how to do this in the future and you get a pretty good grasp on what you're doing currently in the moment. So it's just an incredibly important part of the entire process is also just learning and pushing yourself to attempt it again if you don't like it and keep doing it and keep attempting it, keep trying at it, keep working at it until you get something that you like. But anyway, that is actually going to be the end of today's video. I hope you learned something. My name has been Lunar. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. And bye-bye.